Good afternoon from my garden. It's Wednesday, September 25th, I believe. It's just about 1 o'clock in the afternoon. And today I am doing some fall cleanup. By September 25th, if you haven't started cleaning up your garden for fall, you have missed an opportunity. Well, not entirely. You still have time. So join me today as I get out here and clean up my garden. But what I'm doing is removing things that are that have quit blooming, that have quit growing, dead things. But I'm not throwing them in the trash. These things are good things to make soil for next year. And my garden is a constant rejuvenation project. What I'm doing is I'm composting those things to make soil for next year. You see, I got a little over aggressive and I've put some blooming zinnias in here, but they're on a branch that had become too stocky and too and not pretty. It was ugly, and I'm very thankful to have this bit of greenery to compost in my garden. For my garden, to compost, you need a couple of things. You need dry matter, which boxes are the bottom layer of all my raised beds, and boxes are the bottom layer of my compost. And in between, I'll tear up smaller bits of boxes, and I'll put in paper also. Throw paper in there. But you need a mixed layer of green things, growing things, and dead things or lifeless things. Your lifeless things could be leaves from your trees. When I lived in New Jersey, I lived in a highly wooded area, and there were always bags of leaves on the street, and I used to go pick them up and put them in my garden. On top of what I compost, I'll add soil, and in this bed I'm going to start growing roses. The first rose I'll plant here will be another Peggy Martin rose, like I'm growing over there on that bed. Peggy Martin grows fast and she grows big. So I'm going to grow Peggy Martin back here for my border. But you see what I'm doing. Let me stop here for a second. It rained yesterday. Don't ever compost nutgrass. Nutgrass almost looks pretty. It almost looks like daylilies. It is a vicious weed. And if you know much about me, you know I'm cautious about calling anything a weed. I let a lot of weeds grow. And I've let this grow too long. The best way to get rid of it, the only way I know, is to pull it up from the root. And the best time to do that is the day after a rain or after you've watered, because that's when the roots will more easily, more readily pull away from the soil. So that's a task I'm working on. But I'm also, here are some dead zinnias. This is what had happened with the other. See that dead stem, that dead zinnia stem? It may have some growth on it, but you may need to pull it all out, like I see. Yeah. There are still live zinnias at the end of that root. So I'm probably going to go ahead and cut it back, because that's what I'm working on today. I'm trying to get this area completely clean and to start planning for my next spring garden, or my winter garden, which is about time to plant.